Check it out, y'all. Tuesday's Tales is online now. Today, the ever-loving, who knows, dog, cat. But today is the cat. But yet I'm holding up the dog book. It's mostly because I love dogs. I know a lot of really cool dogs. But I have some really great cats. This is Pumpkin. Y'all have probably seen a lot of pictures of her on my Facebook and my Instagram. She likes to judge. And this is Georgie. He doesn't judge like Pumpkin does. Not really at all. He's a good kitty. And now I'm going to put him down. He's a very large kitty. And I thought he looked a lot like the cat on the book. Today, we are excited about sharing this book with you. Cats and cupcakes. Both good things. And signed by a friend of mine. Today's story, If You Give a Cat a Cupcake, by Laura Numeroff. Look at the kitty. George is down here by my feet, and if I gave him a cupcake, he might go a little woohoo. If you give a cat a cupcake, he'll ask for some sprinkles to go with it. When you give him the sprinkles, he might spill some on the floor. Uh-oh. Look at that. That cat's, oh dear, that's a crazy cat. Cleaning up will make him hot, so you'll give him a bathing suit and take him to the beach. That escalated quickly. He'll want to go in the water. Are you sure? Not many cats I know like water. And build a sandcastle too. Then he'll look for seashells. He'll find a few other things as well. Oh my Lanta. He'll put them in his pail and try to pick it up, but it'll be too heavy. He'll decide he needs to work out at the gym. Oh my goodness. This book's just escalating all over the place. Look at all that stuff he's found on the beach. First, he'll warm up on the treadmill. Then he'll lift a weight or two. He might even try a karate class. What you think, George? You want to try a karate class or anything? I don't think he wants to do that. After the gym, he'll want to go to the park. When you get there, he'll see the rocks. He'll climb as high as he can go. At the top, he'll see the lake. He'll want you to take him rowing. This is a little wild cat. There's a lot more stuff than most cats I know. He'll be the captain, and you'll have to row. Now that does sound like cats I know. Then he'll notice the merry-go-round and want to go for a ride. He'll want you to go for a ride too. You'll choose the horse with the purple mane, and he'll get on the whale. The whale will remind him of the Science Museum. He'll ask you to take him there. First, he'll find the dinosaurs. Then he'll visit the Hall of Apes. When the museum closes, you'll be the last to leave. On the way home, you'll pass by the beach. You'll help him gather all of his things. Then he'll want to race you. When you get home, he'll empty the sand from his shoes. He might spill some on the floor. Seeing the sand on the floor will remind him of the sprinkles. He'll probably ask you for some. And chances are, if you give him some sprinkles, he'll want a cupcake to go with them. The end. Look who came up to join us. Probably because I put his food dish here. It's Georgie. I wonder what the cat's name in the book was. He's pretty wild. We might need to call him like Evil Knievel or something. That cat did more stuff in this book than I ever knew any cat to do. Or some people. I know I'm not a treadmill person. All right. Well, today we have our Bible story, and I tell y'all, we've been reading a lot of great stories in our Storybook Bible. But this one is really great because I don't think I had heard it until college, and I really enjoy it, and I want to share it with you today. It's called A Little Servant and the Proud General. Story of Naaman from 2 Kings chapter 5. That's in the grown-up Bible. In this Bible, it's on page 136. Naaman was a very important man in a very important army of a very important country. So you see, he was very, very, very important. But Naaman was sick. He had leprosy, which is a nasty thing that stops you from feeling anything. Bits of you fall off without you noticing, like bashed fingers and squished toes. It might sound funny, but it wasn't, and Naaman certainly wasn't laughing. There was no cure. It never went away, and in the end it killed you. Naaman needed help. Now there was a little slave girl who worked for Naaman, and she knew someone who could help him. But there was a problem. Naaman was her enemy. Not long before, Naaman had led an army raid on her home in Israel. He had killed her whole family and carried her off to Syria and made her into his slave. Every night she cried herself to sleep and had lost everything. Why would she, of all people, want to help Naaman? Didn't she hate him and want to hurt him back? Didn't she want to make him pay for the wrong he'd done? That's what you'd expect. But instead of hating him, she loved him. Instead of hurting him back, she forgave him. I want Naaman to get well, she said to her mistress. There is a man in Israel called Elisha who can heal him. I'll go, said Naaman, loading up his wagons and putting on his flashing armor. But I'll go to the palace because that's where someone important like me gets healed. So he hurried off to Israel and went straight to the king. Hi, George. Hi, George. You goose. So he hurried off to Israel and went straight to the king. My healing, please, he announced. I can do lots of things, the king replied, but only God can heal. Just then, a message from Elisha arrived. Send Naaman here, it read. So Naaman hurried off to Elisha's house. But Elisha didn't even come out and greet him. He just sent a servant instead. Doesn't Elisha realize who I am? Naaman thought. But what the servant said next made him even crosser. Wash in there, he said. Just wash? Naaman laughed. In that slimy, stinky river? He looked around to see if this was some kind of joke. And it wasn't. Any person can wash in a river, he thought. I am Naaman. I am important, and I should do something so important. God will heal me. And he rode off in a rage. It means he rode off like that. Of course, you and I both know that's not how God does things. All Naaman needed was nothing. It was one thing Naaman didn't have. God knew that Naaman was even sicker on the inside than he was on the outside. Naaman was proud. He thought he didn't need God. His heart didn't work properly. It couldn't feel anything. You see, Naaman had leprosy of his heart. God was not only going to heal Naaman's skin, he was going to heal his pride. Naaman finally agreed to wash in the river, and instantly his skin became smooth like a baby. Babies are pretty soft. Naaman wanted to pay Elijah. God healed you. You can't pay, said Elijah. It's free. And so it was that a very sick man was healed, all because of a little servant girl who forgave him. God knew sin was like leprosy. It stopped his children's hearts from working properly, and in the end, it would kill them. Years later, God was going to send another servant to forgive as she did, to forgive all of God's children and heal the terrible sickness in their hearts. Their hearts were broken, but God can mend broken hearts. The end. Isn't it good that God can fix broken things? There's a lot of things that are broken right now, and a lot of people are really feeling sad and discouraged. But God can heal anything that's broken. Amen. Woohoo. I am so excited that we got to share a story with you today. Next week, our story will be the second place for tonight, if you give a dog a donut. Because we all do want to know what happens if you give a dog a donut. I know, like I said, I know lots of dogs. I know what happens to dogs when you give them cantaloupe. And I know what happens to dogs when you give them Reese cups. Well, we'll find out what happens next week when you give a dog a donut. Hope to see you next week. Be kind to one another. Have an awesome week.